All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book of the Bible. All right, so I have this article here from Natural News. All right, and the title reads "The Edge of Armageddon," and that's where we are at. We are on the edge of Armageddon. All right, we are on the edge of nuclear destruction. All right, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to return and crack that sky. All right, this third world war is at hand. All right, America's destruction is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. You understand? All right, we don't have too much time longer, man. Things are moving at a rapid rate, a rapid speed, man. Prophecy is going. All right, we're right here. We are right here. Okay? It says, continuing the title of the article, it says "The Edge of Armageddon." All right, why we must stop this madness before it's too late. And you can't stop it. You can't stop prophecy. You can't stop the will of the Heavenly Father. You can't stop what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai wants to do. Did not the Lord say, "My word shall not return unto me void? It shall accomplish whatsoever I please." All right, and the scriptures also say that the Lord is not a man that shall lie. And we know the prophecy is that what? All these nations are going to come together for this third world war. All right, to destroy themselves. All right, and also to destroy and completely eradicate and obliterate America from off the face of this earth. All right, when you read Isaiah the 13th chapter, Isaiah the 14th chapter, Isaiah 24, right? Isaiah 47, Jeremiah 49, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Revelation 18. All these chapters are talking about America's destruction and is at hand. It's right at the door. All right, so we're on the edge of this, like it says, man. All right, the edge of Armageddon. Now, when you get the etymology of the word Armageddon, all right, it means cataclysmic final conflict. Yeah, because this third world war, all right, is going to be the war to end all wars. This is going to be the final war, all right, before Yahweh Shai returns. And after Yahweh Shai returns and sets his kingdom up upon this planet Earth, which is the kingdom of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai, all right, there's not going to be any more wars on Earth, all right, when the kingdom of Israel is set up, man. All right, that's Isaiah the 2nd chapter. All right, cataclysmic final conflict, and this is what we're on the edge of. That cataclysmic final conflict is this third world war, which is going to completely drown this planet Earth with thermonuclear destruction. All right, when you read Zephaniah the 3rd chapter, the 8th verse. All right, for this earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right, now not every inch of this earth is going to get hit with thermonuclear destruction. All right, but you got Europe. All right, you got Asia, Babylon, the Americas, man. They all going to be destroyed, man. Europe, the Middle East, Asia, Babylon, all the Americas, man. Most of this world is going to be devoured by the fire of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai's jealousy, man. Zephaniah the 3rd chapter, the 8th verse. All right, so it says cataclysmic final conflict. All right, figurative use of the place name in Revelation. All right, the site of the great in a final conflict. Yeah. All right. It says from Hebrew, because that's what it really comes from. All right. Armageddon. All right. Armageddon, which means mountain of troops. Right here it says mountain of Megiddo. Right. A city in central Palestine. All right. All right, so it says the edge of Armageddon, why we must stop this madness before it's too late. But you can't stop it. You can't stop the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, let's grab that. All right, in this prophecy, all right, this third world war, all right, this prophecy is written all throughout the scriptures. All right, let's get Isaiah 55, right? America's destruction is written all throughout the Bible. All right, this prophecy is written all throughout the scriptures, and you can't stop it, man. All right, talking about, like this article says, why we must stop this madness before it's too late. It's gonna be too late. All right, you can't stop what's already has been judged. Right? So it says Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void. Yeah, the Lord's word is not empty. All right, the Lord's word is a living thing. All right, because that's what the word void means. It means empty, vain, right? But the Lord's word is not empty or vain, man. All right, it's an actual living document. All right, so shall my word that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void. Yeah, all right. So we know the prophecy is what? This third world war. All right, the mark of the beast being the microchip, America's destruction. All right, Yahweh Shai's return. Right? Nuclear missiles raining upon this earth, devouring this earth. Right? It's not going to return unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai void. Right? But it shall accomplish that which I please, and that's the Lord's will. That's his determination to bring all these nations together for this third world war. All right? The edge of Armageddon. All right? This is the Lord's will, to bring on Armageddon, this third world war. Nuclear destruction. You can't stop it. Right? So shall my word that goeth forth out of my mouth, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Yeah, so the Lord's word is not going to return unto me. You can't stop the Lord's prophecy. You can't stop the Lord from doing what he wants to do, and that's to bring nuclear destruction upon this planet Earth. All right? And that's for America to be completely engulfed and swallowed in nuclear fire. All right? This is why you got to return to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All the elect of you that's still out there, man. All right? So let's get into this article. This is March 23rd, 2026. What's that? That's a couple days ago. That's 2 days ago, right? Today's the 25th. All right. So let's read this article. It says the vulnerability of civilization exposed. Yeah. All right. The Lord got this earth in a trick bag. All right. Which is this is Esau Edom's age. His world. All right. He got Esau Edom's age and world in a trick bag, man. All right. The Lord controls everything, man. It says I am writing this with a profound sense of urgency and a heart heavy with dread. Woo. It says, as I observe the geopolitical chessboard in 2026, I see not a game, but a countdown to oblivion. Yeah. It's funny how, people of this earth can now see it. All right. What we have been prophesying, what we have been preaching and prophesying to come, this third world war. Great hell and destruction and misery, sorrow and anguish of mourning coming upon this earth is what we have been prophesying, man. And now people can see it, man. And that's why it is very evident, man. All right, who the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord are now, man. People are saying the Israelites have been right all along, this whole time. You got people coming up to Israelite camps talking about you guys were right the whole time. Everything you've been saying is the truth. Yeah, man. We are the true prophets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. That's where the 100% truth is at, right? The reckless escalation we are witnessing, yeah. All right, listen, bro. This escalation is the power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right, the reckless escalation we are witnessing, driven by a cabal of power-hungry ideologues, all right, in Washington and their allies, has brought us to the precipice of a global catastrophe from which there may be no return. That's right. That is right. There is no return, man. All right, things are just going to keep escalating from here on out. Nothing is going to get better. All right, nothing is going to get better. It's just going to keep escalating, and this is it, man. This is it. This U.S. and Israel war with Iran is just going to keep, bro. It's going to keep escalating and escalating into this third world war, bro. That's been the plan of the elites this whole time. It's known as the Albert Pike and Mazzini blueprint. All right, to cause conflict and controversy between the Muslim world and the Judaism world. All right, which is going to bring the rest of these nations into this third world war, into this final conflict, man, called World War III, Armageddon. All right, which ultimately is the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, the Lord's word, His prophecy, right, which is written all throughout the scriptures. This third world war. It says has brought us to the precipice of a global catastrophe from which there may be no return. That's right, man. There's no return. It's from here on out, it's just going to get hectic, man. Famine is about to pop off. Civil war is about to pop off. Martial law is about to pop off. Cannibalism is about to pop off. Misery and death and anguish and sorrow is about to pop off, man. The time of Jacob's trouble is here. It's at hand. All right. This is not, it says this is not abstract politics. It is a direct existential threat to the daily lives of billions. A failure of leadership so monumental it could collapse civilization itself. That's what's going to happen, bro. This age, this current world that we live in is going to collapse. All right. It has to collapse. All right, because that's prophecy. All right, because the rulers of this current world and age that we live in is Esau, Edom, starting with the elite bankers, the satanic Illuminati elite Edomite banking family, starting with them. All right, is going to collapse. All right, Esau is the end of the world. Right, his age, his world has to fall before Jacob's world begins, before the world of the nation of Israel begins, before the age of Israel begins, which is first and foremost starting with Yahweh Shai. It's his age, his world, his kingdom. All right, before Yahweh Shai's kingdom begins, man. Esau, Edom has to fall. His world has to collapse. All right, this is not the abstract politics. It is a direct existential, all right, threat to the daily lives of billions, a failure of leadership so monumental it could collapse civilization itself. So let's get that scripture, right? And that it is Esau, Edom's age is going to collapse. All right. What's that? Second Esdras, right? Second Esdras, is it 6? It's either chapter 6 or chapter 9. Yeah. All right, this is Second Ezra 6 and 9. I just get straight to the point. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world." Yeah, the world, going back to the Greek word eon. No, not eon. Eon. Yes, eon, meaning a age or a period of time, right? So this current world, this current age, this current period of time we're living in is Esau's period of time, his age, his world. All right, Esau, Edom being the so-called white man, so-called Caucasian man, starting with the elite bankers, because they're the ones that rule this world, this current age, starting with them. right? It says, for Esau is the end of the world, all right, the end of this current age, showing you that Edom is still here. The Edomites are still here. Because Esau's world has to end before Jacob's world begins. Right? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, which is the nation of Israel, is the beginning of it that follows. So after Edom's world ends, all right, Jacob world begins. The nation of Israel world begins. Their rulership begins. All right. So that's how we know that the Edomites are still here, because Jacob's world, all right, Yahweh's kingdom hasn't begun yet. Edom has to fall first, and that's what Yahweh is coming back to do, to bring Edom's world, his kingdom, his rulership down. All right, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, let's continue this article. It says, in my view, we are witnessing the final act of a dying empire. That's right. That's right. Literally. That's crazy, bro. People outside of this truth, you know, the other nations, even in the world, bro, or can see it was popping off, man. They can see that their kingdom is falling and dying. Edom is witnessing his own kingdom falling, man. That's wild, bro. All right. In my view, we are witnessing the final act of a dying empire. All right. One willing to burn the world rather than relinquish control. Yeah, but this world has to be burned and set on fire. This current age has to be burnt and set on fire for Yahweh's kingdom, man. You know, to be set upon this planet Earth when he returns. Right? That's prophecy. We just read it. Right? Second Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? So it says the architects of this crisis, from the warmongers in the United States Department to the expansion in Zionists in Israel, have created a powder keg. All right, a single misstep, a rash ultimatum, a misguided strike. All right, that had to happen for this third world war to pop off. It had to happen. It has to happen, so the Lord's will could be fulfilled, which is this third world war, bringing all these nations together. All right, so they could destroy themselves with thermonuclear fire, so they could shoot nuclear missiles and warheads upon themselves, to drown themselves with thermonuclear destruction. All right. What did the Lord say in Zephaniah 3 and 8? For my determination is to gather the nations and to assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right? When you read Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right? I will gather all the nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, into the valley of decisions. Right? It says a single misstep, a rash ultimatum, a misguided strike could ignite a chain reaction leading to global famine. Yeah, that's what we coming to. Global famine. All right, industrial collapse and nuclear exchange. That's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen to prophecy. All right, it's not if, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, man. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's prophecy. All right, we are not living in days of peace. No, we're not. We're living in a time of war. All right, let's get that. All right, Ecclesiastes. All right, the 3rd chapter. Let's get that. All right. So, look at the subheading of this chapter. All right. A time for everything. All right. Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Yeah. So the scriptures are saying there's a time and place for everything, right? Now, when you go down, it says what? A time of love and a time to hate. And right now we're living in a time a time of hate, right? A time of war and a time of peace. And it goes to show you that that's a balance, right? Because the Lord is about balance. That's why you have left, right, up, down, hot and cold. All right, wickedness, righteousness, peace, war, right? Life, death. That's all balance. Because when you read Proverbs the 11th chapter, all right, the scriptures say that a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, right? It says a time to love and a time to hate, and this is the time we're living in right now, a time of hate. A time of war and a time of peace, and right now we're living in a time of war. All right, there's no time of peace right now. No peace is coming. We are not living in the days of peace. That's right. And we've been prophesying and telling you that no peace is coming. No, only false prophets speak of peace. All right. Since the ancient times, the prophets always spoke about war. They always spoke about war, famine, hell, pestilence, and evils. You never spoke about peace, man. The only peace they spoke about coming was the kingdom of heaven. But they always spoke about destruction and hell and chaos. And that's what the true prophets of the Lord, all right, the true prophets of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai today are doing. All right? We are not living in days of peace. We are living on borrowed time, and the clock is ticking down to zero. That's right. All right? We have hours, not days, to avert catastrophe. Well, you can't avert it. You can't avert prophecy. You can't change what's about to happen. You can't change what the Lord, it's already written. You can't change what's already written. Right? We have hours, not days, to avert catastrophe. Like, well, listen, man, you ain't averting nothing. All right? But listen, it says we do. It's, I agree with this part. We have hours, not days, right? Yahweh Shai is getting ready to crack that sky, right? Because we are living in the last seconds, the last months of Esau Edom's empire, right? It says the speed of this escalation is breathtaking and terrifying. Yeah, the Lord is making things happen fast, man. All right, the Lord said those days shall be shortened, right? For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? We have moved from diplomatic posturing to explicit ultimatums in a matter of weeks. President Trump's recent shift from a 50-day warning to Russia to a 10 to 12-day ultimatum is not a negotiation tactic. It is a provocation designed for one outcome. All right, conflict. All right, the recklessness is now mirrored in the Middle East, where any miscalculation between Israel and Iran could instantly spiral into a regional inferno. All right, and this is what's getting ready to happen. It can happen any day now. All right, I believe we are now measuring our safety in hours, not days or months. Woo! All right, that's crazy, man. All right, the failure, we're right here at the door. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, I am of the elect, man. All right, the failure of leadership is absolute. All right, well, this is all coming from on high. All right, this is being done by the elite bankers, the satanic Illuminati elite Edomite banking families. This is all being orchestrated and manufactured by them. This is systematically being done by them. This is all part of their new world order plan to bring this third world war. All right, which ultimately is biblical prophecy, the will of the Heavenly Father. All right, but he's using Esau Edom to do it. He's using the elite bankers to do it, because the elite bankers have a new world order agenda, and part of that new world order agenda is to bring this third world war. All right, to depopulate this earth. That's why they have the nuclear bunkers. All right? It says failure of leadership is absolute. These are not statesmen seeking peace. They are psychological prisoners of mutual destruction pact, all right, binded by ideology and hubris, all right, or hubris, right? They operate with a complete disregard for the 100 million innocent lives caught in the crossfire of their games. As I have also repeatedly said, the goal may be engineered collapse. It is an engineered collapse, bro, because they want everything to collapse. The elite bankers want everything to collapse so they can usher in the what's known as the mark of the beast in the Bible, which is the RFID microchip. All right? It says using chaos to reset a debt-ridden financial system and seize absolute control. All right? This isn't strategy, it's apocalyptic nihilism, all right, dressed in a suit. And he's on point with this, man. All right? As I also repeatedly said, the goal may be, it's not maybe, it is. All right, because the elites have a new world order agenda, man. All right, they're systematically, all right, going to collapse, all right, the entire global system. Not just one part of the, just one nation. No, the global economy is purposely going to be collapsed by the elite bankers. See, this war is going to bring about famine. It just might usher in the mark of the beast. Right? It says using chaos to reset a debt-ridden financial system. Yeah. All right? And seize absolute control, because that's what it's all about. This isn't strategy. It's apocalyptic nihilism dressed in a suit. All right? It says the logic of escalation is a suicide pact. Consider the current... I like this. I like this natural news, man. I like this news outlet, man. All right. The last article I did a lesson on was from this. This I like this, man. All right. It says the logic of escalation is a suicide pact. Consider the current flashpoint between Ukraine and Russia. Trump's ultimatum to potentially authorize strikes deep into Russian territory following the failure of his earlier demands. All right, from my perspective, this is a profound moral and strategic failure. All right, it ignores the fundamental reality that Russia cannot be humiliated into submission. It will respond, and its responses are existential. All right, as one source notes, the West's assumption that Russia had no other partners and would accept any deal has been shattered, leading to this dangerous standoff. All right, and Russia, according to prophecy, is going to be the main nation to destroy and completely eradicate America off the face of this earth. All right, Jeremiah the 50th chapter. All right, Isaiah the 13th chapter. Right. It says in the Middle East, the pattern is equally dire. An Israeli strike on Iranian nuclear facilities criticized for lacking evidence of an imminent threat. All right, recalls past unfounded claims used to justify war. Yep. It says Iran has promised, all right, devastating retaliation, and we know according to prophecy that Iran is going to come what? Like the wild boars in the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them to destroy the land of the Assyrians, which is America. All right, Iran plays a very great part, all right, in end time biblical prophecy. Iran plays a major part in America's destruction. Iran going to shoot missiles over here to America, according to prophecy. That's written in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. All right, Iran is known as the Carmanians in that chapter. And it says the Carmanians are going to come through like the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them to destroy the land of the Assyrians. Man, they're gonna join with Russia to destroy America. All right, it says Iran promised devastating retaliation. We know that's going to happen according to prophecy, right? Including targeting I always forgot to pronounce this word. Desalination, that's right. Targeting desalination and energy grids across the Gulf. This would trigger an unthinkable humanitarian crisis. All right, and this is all being the elites are just sitting back laughing, bro. The elite. This is why it's gonna be so beautiful, man. All right, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. This is why it's gonna be so beautiful for the elect to get a hold on these men. Oh, once we get a hold on them, man, you can be like, oh, you thought shit was funny, right? You thought shit was funny, right? Being wicked as hell and creating all this chaos. You thought this was cool with shit, right? Right? And the scriptures say we're going to look at him like this man here. This is the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake. This man right here, bro, we going to have a laugh, man. It's going to be joy, all right, to have them in captivity. All right? It says this would trigger an unthinkable humanitarian crisis. And this is all being done by the elites, man. Systematically being done and manufactured, right, by the elites. Right? It says the tit for tat logic shows a complete disregard for life. Yeah, and we know Esau Edom because this is all being done by the elite. This is all being done and created by the elite bankers. And we know Esau Edom, he has a disregard for life. All right? His blessing was the sword. Right? Which means, his blessing is to create chaos and death and destruction upon this earth. Right? When you read Revelation, the 6th chapter, all right, it talks about the red horse and the pale horse, which both horses represent Esau Edom. And it talks about, the red horse and the pale horse was followed by death. The tit for tat logic shows a complete disregard for life, all right, treating millions of people as mere pawns. Yeah. All right, these are not isolated conflicts. They are interconnected limbs of the same beast, which each twitch threatening, all right, to bring down the whole body of global stability. All right. So this article is pretty long. All right, I'll read a little more though. It says the globalists and war planners, all right, it says beyond borders, the domino effect of a closed strait. All right, the globalists and war planners either do not understand or do not care about the second order effects of their actions. All right, and that's the pride of Esau too. It says their focus is on tactical victories and regime change. Blind to the fragile web of global interdependence they are tearing apart. All right, a primary example is the Strait of Hormuz. It is not just an Iranian choke point, it is the world's economic aorta. All right, let me look up what this word is, all right, real quick. The definition: the aorta is the largest and main artery of the human body. Oh, I get what it's saying. Yeah, all right. A global and economic aorta. So this is the main vein, the main artery of the economy, man. Yeah, because the Strait of Hormuz, I think it's 80% of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz, man. All right. It says it's not just an Iranian checkpoint, it is the world's economic aorta. All right. A prolonged closure would mean no microchips, all right, no fertilizers, and the rapid unraveling of global supply chains that are already stretched thin. All right, the entire global supply chain from commodity sources to end customer is bathed in energy. All right, disrupt the flow of oil through the strait, and you disrupt every link in that chain. All right, the economic vulnerability of industrialized nations to such an energy crisis is severe, as studies on energy vulnerability confirm. All right, I believe the architects of this crisis are guaranteeing famine and industrial collapse. Yeah, all right, that's exactly what's going to happen, man. All right, it says they are planning with fire in a room filled with explosives. All right, the Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has Esau Edom in a trick bag, bro. How stupid you gotta be? Like it says right here, they are playing with fire in the room full of explosives. Right? Convinced of their own immunity. That's that pride, right? It says the resulting chaos would not be contained. It would wash over every continent, leaving scarcity, panic, and social breakdown in its wake. And that's, what the people of this world have no idea. That is the people of this world are zombies, man. They have most of this world is going to get caught with their pants down, man. People are going to people's panic is going to go through the roof. They're going to panic and catch anxiety so great, they just going to pass out and die, man. The real agenda, chaos as a tool for control. Yeah, order ab chaos. When you read a book called Codex Magica by Tex Mars, right? It talks about, that's part of Esau Edom's alchemy. It's witchcraft. Is order ab chaos. All right? Creating chaos to come behind it with order to control the people. Right? Problem, action, solution. Right? That's what this whole pandemic, scandemic was about. Right? They created chaos. This whole world was in an uproar, right? Because of this scandemic, pandemic, right? And they came behind it with what? A solution. That juicy juice, that jabbing team, right? It was part of the depopulation process, right? It says we must look beyond the superficial narratives for territorial disputes and national security. This pattern of engineered escalation fits a larger, more sinister agenda. Yeah, we know this. This is what we've been telling y'all, man. This is what we've been teaching. All right? All right, it says, from my perspective, the goal is what some analysts call the great taking, all right? Using systemic chaos to justify the seizure of private assets, all right? The imposition of total digital control, all right? The MOTB, the microchip, all right? The RFID microchip is the mark of the beast, right? Total digital control via central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, yeah. All right? The final consolidation of a global surveillance state, yeah. This is the plan of the elites for total control, all right? To bring in the RFID microchip. Societal breakdown is the perfect pretext for their tyranny, all right? This, yeah, yep. They're just waiting for... The elites are waiting for the perfect event, the perfect chaos to usher in the mark of the beast, all right? Which is the RFID microchip, all right? False prophets are going to tell you that the mark of the beast is not the RFID microchip, but indeed it is the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast, all right? Which is what the prophets of Great Millstone are telling you, and the ones that teach in like manner, that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. That is for sure, all right, and that is for certain what the mark of the beast is, all right? This is not speculation. The same globalist forces that relentlessly push CBDCs, digital IDs, and censorship see a depopulated, docile populace as the end goal. That's right. That's right. That's their ultimate goal, to have everyone chipped, microchipped. That's the mark of the beast. That's biblical prophecy, right? A shocking analysis even suggests that provoking a nuclear exchange could be a calculated solution, right? This war just might be the war, right? To bring in or usher in, all right, the MOTB. The RFID microchip to free up energy sources for AI data centers by eliminating millions of energy consumers, all right? Whether through bioweapons, financial collapse, or nuclear fire, the objective remains the same. The preservation of elite control at any human cost. This is the real war being waged, a war on humanity itself. All right. So I'll leave it at that, man. All right. This is what we're about. This is what's getting ready to pop off, man. All right. All this war has been systematically created to bring out prophecy. The elites have an agenda. All right. This war is going to cause famine, hell, death, misery, pain, mourning, suffering. That's getting ready to fall upon this earth. Famine is coming in a great way. All right. The mark of the beast is coming. The RFID chip is coming, man. This war was created to bring all of that. See, we're about to enter into times where, only the elect is going to be protected, and everyone else, all right, all those that have rejected the word of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, all you that have mocked, scorned, and scoffed, misused the prophets, right? You're all going to get caught up in this madness, man. All right, and we have been prophesying this time to come. And now this earth it's finally here, man. Everything is bro, we don't have too much longer, bro. We don't have 10 years here. I'm telling you, we don't have 10 years here. It's seeming like we don't have 5 years here, to be real with you. Next year is 2027. 7 represents completion, man. Yahweh Shai just might crack that sky next year, man. If we make it that far. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect, man. Lord willing. All right. So Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, this lesson is or was edifying. Bring you this news, let you know what's happening, what's going on in the world, to let you know what time we're living in. We're watching. All right, we're letting the people know what's up, what's going down. Right? Because only the elect is going to wake up and understand what's popping off, what's getting ready to happen. They're going to wake up, out of this gross darkness that the rest of this earth is living in. The rest of the people of this earth, is living in, man. Very gross and great darkness. All right? This earth is under right now. All right? And only the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord literally know exactly what's going on, man. They have all the answers. All right? So with that being said, call Haloyam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal, Quitash. Tawab, Aman. To the next one. Shalom, shalom.